Live on YouTube. All right. What are you gonna use for AI? State trees. We've been using state trees already. Somewhere in here. Yeah. We have a very basic state tree here. So we'll just have to create a state for aggro. Like they spotted a monster or a player, and then they get aggressive. And then we'll figure it out from there. Hee hee hee. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what it's doing. I still got to get used to state trees. I think, in my opinion, I like the workflow a lot better than behavior tree. I just have to get into it more. But I do think I do quite like the state tree workflow. Like just working with it just feels a lot better. Yeah. On that note, all right. Sight perception, huh? Sight perception. Well, what does it need? So let's make an entirely new thing here called sight perception. So cone-based sight. I don't know how to do like a cone properly. Like I know there's a system in Unreal for sight perception by default and it uses a cone. Is it what it's is the cone, is it realistically what it's doing, just checking every player pawn, checking its distance, and then checking the dot product? Is that literally all it's doing? Like, how is it determining the cone? Is it an actual cone trace? Is there any tracing going on? Is the tracing only happening when it passes those first two values, which is distance and the dot product? Is that it? What does it mean if a bank refuses to open my account for a company that I just made? Am I in debt? Anybody had experience? Brother, this is not the place to be asking such important questions like that. Have you thought about talking to an accountant, or I would recommend talking to an accountant who is in your area, region, not Twitch chat for financial advice. Yeah, call the bank. Call the bank, ask them what issues there are. So cone-based sight. I am very interested to see how the sight perception works. I gotta say, the AI perception shit, though, is like... it's very complicated. Like, there's a lot of moving parts here. I just started working with state tree, still a bit of mystery to me. I always, you know what I have? I always have this page open. Oh, no, not this page. Sorry, that's AI perception. I have this open, first 60 minutes with state trees, because it kind of goes through a little bit of everything. And sometimes I just kind of have to like remind myself how to do something. I'm always kind of like looking through this. There's also a series of tutorials online that helped me with getting into it initially. But there's some really cool stuff in state trees, really, really cool stuff. Grok can summarize it for you. What, the fucking perception system? No, it's just that it's like there's a struct that keeps track of like all of your senses, like all of the things going on. I don't know. Smelling as well. I don't know if smell is a sense in the AI perception system. I'm sure you could make one. There's touch. See, like there is a sight system in here. The only problem that I don't like about the sight is if you wanted to modify this, you'd have to modify it in C++ essentially. And honestly, I kind of don't care for it. The only one I'm using is hearing. Just because hearing is so integral to this all of this stuff. I could always just use sight, but just use it as a base, but it feels so unnecessary to do that. Can I find this in the tabs? Because I'm assuming the sight.h file would be in here. Damn, I hate that. You can't hit enter. Okay, here we go. So AI sense sight. Games is so backwards. Video games is all just smoke and mirrors, baby. Smokes and mirrors. The thing that I kind of like about the sight system is you can just associate a component on something, and then sight will read from that component. Your idea of dot product and then if within an angle, do a line trace seems like a good approach. Yeah. I guess my only worry with it is they'd have to do a distance check. Every single monster would have to do a distance and dot product checked. I guess it would just do a distance check first. If it fails the distance check, then it just doesn't do all the other calculations like dot product or anything like that, right? But it'd have to do that on every single player character, essentially. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, Trey, why did my friend invite me here? I don't know, ask your friend. I just found out that I have to put a parameter into an output category and state task works and output. Would have thought of that. It's so interesting, Peak. They use the categories as like a very integral thing for the state trees. There's like output, input, if I remember correctly. There's like another one. It's so cool. The things you can do is so cool. It makes the workflow so much nicer. Originally with like behavior tree tasks, you would have to, here's an example. To get a reference to the pawn. So this is context. This is another category. This is context. What you'd have to do originally is you would have to cast to set your pawn reference, blah, 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 all this crap. But instead, now it'll automatically set it based off of the context actor class that's up here. Yeah. Yeah, state tree is solid. It's great. And then over here, I could just set the location as an output from this thing. It'll output it, and then anything can read from that. So this will read from that task's output. Now, I don't know how heavy this is to send a property down the chain. I would assume it's not like crazy, because this is like an integral thing into their whole system. Like, I don't know how expensive state tree is in comparison to like behavior tree. I would assume it's similar. There's no way they would just shift their entire workflow to something without any reason for it, right? Like, right? Right? They wouldn't do that, right? Hope this won't be as bad to optimize like behavior trees. Working on Switch game killed me last year. This song, Massive Attack. I feel like I recognize the song, but I also don't. I was the problem. I did it all in blueprints, and behavior trees in C++ were actually quite annoying. Oh, shit. Yeah, there's some pretty cool tracks in this. Pretty cool tracks. Okay. Site system. I'm looking at how they do site. My question is, okay, we can do a dot product to all of the players in the world. But what if we wanted enemies to also be able to see miscellaneous objects? You know what I mean? What if we wanted to register miscellaneous objects around them? Like maybe it's like a thing that alerts an enemy and gets them to notice an object or something, you know, maybe like a trap or something. So I wonder, scene components in a spatial hash grid. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's you're speaking a whole different language to me. What is a spatial hash grid? What the hell is that? I'm curious how they're using it in the site system. Like, how are they? Let's see here. AI fix it. AI will replace the engineers, right? Don't get it twisted. When I say AI, I mean video game AI behavior, not the dog shit AI terminology that's been... The wording that's basically been fucking... If you think about it, they've kidnapped the term AI. They've really kidnapped it. They've actually just taken it out back and fucking shot it in the face, and they're like, AI. Everybody fucking claps. Someone's fucking puking in the back. Spatial hash grid is just a grid of things grouped into chunks. I don't know how to type for that. Makes spatial lookups faster. Okay, I gotta look that up because that sounds interesting. I think what they're doing here though is whenever something has a component as a site thing, I think it's just adding itself to an array, I'm gonna guess. Right. We got a T map here. Observe targets. I think this is the targets that are currently in the range. Site queries pending, site queries in range. Vixen. I learned yesterday that a circle with maximized area is faster than a triangle fan or a triangle stripped. A circle with maximized area is faster than a triangle fan or a triangle strip. A circle with maximized area. I don't really know what you mean by maximized area. But yeah, the triangle fan is actually not that good because of overdraw. It's technically not the best. You're actually better off. I think the better method of making of closing off a cylinder is you don't want to do this because I think that's not very good for. So what you actually want to do is do it like this. If I remember correctly, this is actually better. If I remember correctly. There's like a way of doing it that's a better way of doing it. This just has a shit ton of verts, so it's kind of annoying. I think this is the better way of doing it. Nanite or in general? I think in general as well. I think it has something to do with overdraw, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm just lazy and I just do a fan because I'm just fucking lazy. I think Bungie's using the cube map thing so hackers can't locate loop because it's not loaded. Cube map thing? You mean the spatial thing? The whole spatial thing? Max asynchronous traces per tick. Oh, are they doing this asynchronously? Huh. So the reason why I want to do my own thing is because I want to have different cone ranges and stuff. Look. Oh, this structure. What is this? What's the number at the bottom? The number along the x-axis is the vertex count around the circle, and the y-axis is frames per second. Why the fuck would you ever do 49,152 verts around a circle though? Is the vertex count around the circle? That's psychopathic. Like, I never go above... Hell, I don't even do 32 vert circles. I think the most I do is maybe like 24. Or 32, I would only do for like a first-person gun. Just so the... Because, like, you'll easily notice the silhouette of the end of the barrel. So that's the only time I would go 32. But generally, I'm sticking like 24 or lower. So I would say it's negligible. But the fact that they put 48,000 is pretty funny at the end. 48,000 vert cylinder, brother. I don't even go that high. I didn't even know cylinder. I didn't even know fucking blender could go that high. Think about a bevel cube, it's the same thing. You know, there are concerns with doing a bevel. If you do bevels and stuff, kind of like what I'm doing, definitely don't go too overboard with it, right? Wait, hold on. There's a lit frame wire. Yeah, this stuff's cool. So, like, I use bevels here to smoothen some of the edges and stuff. Now, of course, that does create a little bit of overdraw because you can see here, like, we're kind of far away from it, and it's kind of like intense. So, that's something to kind of consider in some scenarios when you do like bevels, like what I'm doing, right? They can get pretty gnarly, but like honestly, it's not like I use it crazy everywhere, and it's just double bevels, so it's just two edges, just so we can do weighted normals. So, like if anything, the train track here is worse, but yeah, I think negligible, right? I think it heavily depends on the situation. Yeah. Don't the tracks have weighted smoothing? They might. I might have beveled them. Yeah. I think they are beveled. Actually, I don't know, actually. I think it's sharpen edge. I've not done any, like, model optimizing as of yet. But to be fair, I haven't, like, gone crazy with any of these meshes. Besides the fact that the entire train is all one piece. Just ignore that. Just ignore that fact. Just ignore the fact that the entire train is one big piece. I haven't separated it yet. See, here's what I'm wondering. We have a register source with... God, I fucking hate the ampersand. What is the ampersand again? Is this an array? It's a pointer? It's a type of pointer? I don't remember. The register source and unregistered source. I'm pretty sure it's a reference. Okay. Right. Cannot be null. Gotcha. But it is adding to type. Or it's reading type. I'm so confused. Why does it say source actors for register singular source, but then we have unregistered source, and that one's a singular actor? I think what this is doing, though, register target, target actor. I think this is adding to its own local array. Observe targets. Unless observe targets is something that only gets added when they see the target, but I don't think that's the case. I do kind of like that they do some asynchronous stuff though. It adds it to an array of all perceived actors. That's what I'm thinking. But by perceived actors, does that mean an actor that's currently within sight? Or just a list of actors that it's going to loop through? That's something I'd like to figure out. Eternal? I want to see if there's like a loop in here. B, auto register all pawns as sources. Maybe I do use the sight system as a base. My only problem is I want to be able to have some more control over the sight system. Right now, you are hard-coded to a specific peripheral vision half angle. But I want to be able to be different about that peripheral vision half angle. Let me see if I can utilize that peripheral vision. Okay, so this is the actual thing that is being used. Angle cos. And then in here, they're checking, is target in sight cone? They drew it in text. They drew it in text. I like that. I like that. Big fan. But what is N, X, and F? So here they're doing compute visibility. Compute visibility. Compute visibility is probably being used. Here we have site query again. Okay. Target actor. How do I add a game instance subsystem blueprint? I think you can only create your own subsystems. If you're trying to make your own subsystem, I believe you can only do that in C++. Did you know a renderer determines whether it's front face or back face by looking if the vertex numbers are clockwise or counterclockwise? There's a crazy amount of optimizations done to make things work. I don't like I know some stuff for sure, like that happens underneath the hood. But yeah, isn't there a simple line of sight node in Blueprint? There is, yes. I'm not too worried about that though. I'm just more so curious how they're doing things here. If should automatically see target. Interesting. Okay. Else, we need to test ourselves. Use asynchronous trace for default site queries. Interesting. They're doing an asynchronous line trace by channel. Can't I use that in... I swear there's an async trace in Blueprint. Am I crazy? Or is that a that might have been a plugin. that exposes the async line trace. Is that literally all it's doing from an async standpoint? Because that was kind of something I was interested in. Store the trace handle information here so that we can identify the associated query when we'll receive the delegate callback, which is occurring here. Is async line trace part of GAS? That... I don't think it's a part of GAS, but now that I think about it, I think I have seen the node actually when working with GAS. Maybe, actually. Huh. I think I remember seeing that you can use the function in GAS for some reason. Like in Blueprint. I think what the GAS probably did is the plugin for GAS probably made it so you can utilize it in Blueprint, but realistically it's not from Blueprint, it's this. These are things that would be really cool to just have in, you know, in base UE. Like obviously I can just make a function for it, but okay, so now the consideration is, do I just use this as a base for the site perception system, or do I just make my own? Oh, here he goes pretending he can code in C++. Oh, I'm not pretending. I'm an idiot. Do not get it twisted. I feel like I could just make this myself. Make my own systems. Then that way I'm not like trying to shoehorn, whatever the term would be, shoehorn a fucking thing in here. Pretending the project isn't 200% blueprints? Yeah, but I'm not pretending I'm good at C++ either. I've used C++ though, don't, you know, listen, I've been using it. Not as much as I should be, but, you know, I have been using it. I'm just quicker in blueprints. Are you trying to rage bait me? I use C++ and added a game instance. C++ code, I added abstract blueprint. Constant drive took... I can't get it. I'm pretty sure there's a tutorial online for how to create your own subsystem. I have never created a subsystem myself, so I've just briefly looked into it. But there should be a guide for it, I believe. Limit the number of traces per frame. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the trace part, honestly. Honestly, I'm not even worried about anything, to be honest. I'm not worried about any of it at all, actually. I could probably just code this myself. I'm just trying to think, how do we structure it? We probably want the sense to be not a part of the perception system and just its own component. Or we could just put it straight in the controller blueprint anyways. Does it sense be in blueprint or only C++? You could probably make, like if you wanted to use this system, use the config system, you could probably do that. Working on enemy AI, doing a little bit. We're gonna start doing a little bit of it. I'm just trying to think if I want to create my own site config. In Suit for Hire, I think we still ended up using this, but we completely like demolished it. Like in this code here, we would check if it's site and then completely just break it up, make our own system from it. and it's literally just the initial site, which at that point begs the question, do we really need all this shit when I can just do my own system? I think the only benefit this has is it's like it plays nicely with the whole idea where I think all you have to do is add a perception source to this, a stimuli source, and then that can be, you know, registered for sight. But as far as I can tell, I did just see a Boolean that auto-registers pawns as sources. Somewhere in here I saw auto-register pawns as sources. I saw that as a thing. Right here. Auto-register all pawns as sources. So yeah. But we'll just put it in anyways. The problem is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something similar to I really like how Repo does their vision checking. They changed the cone of the vision half angle when you're like crouching and stuff, which I feel like is pretty smart. The problem then is though, how do we can't really do that. So I have to essentially just use this as a base just so we can detect the player. And then where was compute again? Compute visibility. So we're using it here. Okay, hold on. I think this is the tick update. Okay, let me see what they're doing here. This will teach me some stuff potentially. Yeah. Schwa. How goes it? We're working on some of the monster behavior stuff right now. Right now, the perception system for sight. Yeah. I have to admit, sometimes Epic tries to cover every use case and corner when they try to make a system. It makes things way more convoluted and hard to logic around, to the point that I just say, fuck it. I honestly think they should stop trying to babysit game developers and just give us the bare minimum to then allow us to add to the system rather than trying to fucking scramble around it because they try to add so much to it. Stop trying to babysit us. They do certain things as a safety precaution. It's like, stop. Let us crash people's computer. It's our fault. It should not be your fault. Stop it. Just stop it. If something that thing does not need to be set to private. It does. Chaos vehicles don't even let you change the stats at runtime. Yauchi. Give me public variables all the way. Yes. No, honestly, I can't name any sort of feature, but I have encountered periods in time in the past where systems are built in such a way that, I don't know, I guess their intention is you're not really supposed to use it. You're supposed to actually just derive from it and then modify and override it with your needs. I think this is one of those moments where I just don't even want to use this system at all. To be honest, like the perception system as a whole just seems convoluted. And adding anything to it probably just makes things worse from a performance standpoint when I could have just done it myself. Anyways, let's see what they're doing. Update. They're checking if the world is null. Okay. And then ending it. They're sorting the site queries. So site query. This is where I'm going to get lost from a syntax coding standpoint. This is an array. And then they're doing a for each result of every element in the site query. Is this an array of references? And then it's calling recalculate score. Site queries out of range. Interesting. So that was that what I was noticing? So they have three different things. They have site queries out of range, which are queries that are outside of the distance check. So they're separating everything into different sections from what I can imagine. For each site queries out of range. Site queries out of range sort, FAI site query, F sort predicate. So I saw that function earlier. I got to take a look at that. Are we making a new AI sense? I think I'm just going to make my own site system. Spatial hash grid side quest unlocked. The thing is, I don't think we need like a hash grid. You know what I mean? I think we would only really need that probably if we were making like an MMO or a game with like 32 players. Let's assume there are 6 monsters on the board and 5 players. As long as we can try to just, I don't know, do it maybe asynchronously if we can, I think we'll be fine. Because the first thing is just doing distance checks. I don't think we need to do things like queries out of range or queries in range or anything like that. I feel like it's unnecessary. And it's not like we're going to be calling update constantly. I think the site system will be happening on a periodic basis, like every 0.5 seconds, if not less than that. That's why modern games have shit performance. Because I made them. No. Let's see here. Async traces count equals... time slicing. The only thing that will suck, if we do our own system, we lose out on a lot of the fun, nice debug stuff that's there. Because I have no clue how to even do any of that, like put this stuff into the whole debug system. Yeah, I think we are going to make our own sense system. I'm just curious how they're doing it, just to kind of see, like, you know, is there any good practices I can maybe take from this? Like, don't get me wrong, I think having the queries separated into in range, out of range, etc., is a good idea. It's not a horrible idea. We just use, see here, the computing visibility. If the visibility result is equal to pending, but isn't this, no, this isn't async. There's an async line trace there. Just make the inner values drive them. Debug system done. I guess. Yeah, I guess that could be the debug system. All right. So cone-based site. Distance check. So it needs a distance check first. Cone-based site. I think we might have to do something very similar to Sue for Hire in that you need to be spotted over a specific amount of time. Right? And this is exactly why I ended up kind of wedging my own system into it, is there's no way of determining, well, is there actually? I think there is a way to determine if something is spotted for a period of time. Max age. Specifies age limit after stimuli generated by the sense becomes expired. 0 means never. Oh, that's not what we want. Yeah, I literally have to wedge my own system into this. Because I need to be able to determine how long they've seen a character for. Yeah, behind the scenes peek, I don't think we're going to actually show the players like how long they've been in sight for. I don't want to make it too gamey, right? Like, I think we'll let players figure out like, oh, if you're standing up and running around, the amount of time it takes for you to get spotted is much faster than if you were crouching and slow walking or standing still or inside of a locker or whatever, right? The only problem is that to put that kind of system in, either I create my own config file entirely and code this in C++, or I just make my own system. How Krim decides to make his games? Let me see. What's this tweet? Let me see. What's he saying?
I need you to come here. Fucking come here. It's us! It's independent! Which means it's us! There is no one else! There is no distributors! It's us! We're doing it!
Is this in response to his movie or whatever? When you say new system, you not use the perception system at all? Yeah, I think the only thing I'd use perception system for is the hearing, because the nice thing about the hearing system is there's a whole noise event system, which is really nice, and you can literally call this anywhere. I don't know how they're doing this. I would like to learn that, because that could be very good for me. This is cool. I'm guessing what this is doing is creating an object in the world. Why not just create a new config? Honestly, I don't know if I don't know if I want to deal with, like, yeah, we could create a new implementation. Let's see if we can. Like, let's see what the process would be like. I just feel like I'd do a better job writing it in C++ rather than trying to deal with Blueprint, because I don't think I can create a config like this, the implementation of AI Sense Site. I don't think I can create it in Blueprint. Let's see. Create C++ class. Okay, we can create a Blueprint class based on AI Sense underscore Blueprint. That's the correct one. If we were to adjust the implementation, what happens? What benefit do we get from just utilizing the config system, though? Like, is there any benefit to us even utilizing it besides, I guess, just adding the sense to something? Versus just coding it ourselves. What benefit would we have from using the config system? Because then it just means I have to literally know everything going on in here. So this is the thing that we're using. I can only create a C++ class from it. It's derived from AI Sense, which is this one. So there's a blueprint version. Let me see. Let's see. Let's try it out. On listener registered, on listener unregistered, on listener update on new pawn. Called when a census instance get notified about new pawn that's just been spawned. That's kind of handy. Auto register all pawns as sources. Notify type on every perception on perception change. Listener data type. Yeah, sense blueprint listener. User defined struct. And then that's defined here as a value here for senses. Okay, yeah, I could see that being handy. Just that part. I don't think I would reuse anything else. And we could just use the blueprint one. Yeah, you know what? I vibe with that. I vibe with that, yeah. So now that means, so what is listener data type? I like the fact that it can auto-register all the pawns as sources. Okay, we are still gonna have to learn some stuff here. Let me see what the exposed variables are. Listener container. I don't know what this is. A variable used to store data. Yeah, great, thanks, motherfucker. A variable. Blah, 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 blah. So, auto register all pawns as sources. How do I determine what this or who? Auto register all pawns as sources. I would assume that means. So on update. Is there any documentation for this? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man. On listener registered. I'm confused. Is the listener the owner of this site? I think it is. So how do I read? Is it on new pawn? Called when a census instance to get notified of a new pawn that's just been spawned. What if I want to add another source? And how do I read from that? Events to process. Yeah, event sense event. What is an AI sense event object? Okay. AI sense event. Type get and see what it has. Let's see. Get. Yeah. Message sort. Nope, that's an object type. AI sense event. Let me see how on update gets called for site. Because I'm guessing is the exact same update call. It spits out type float, but where are these events to process? Okay. Events to process. I'm not sure why the listener container is a container when you just have one listener. So here we have the on update, which calls the events to process. I am also realizing this is on update and not update. This is different. The on update is different. This is not as blueprint friendly as I thought it would be. So this might be a bit more. Called when a listener unregistered from this sense, most often is called due to actor's death. Dude, I'm so confused about listener. Get all listener actors, like what is a listener? Is a listener something that's registered? Is the listener just because it's a list of an array of AI perception component objects? Unreal moment? No, more like I'm just an idiot, but yeah, kind of. I'm sure there's probably some tutorial out there. Okay, let's do this. Let's read what happens on new pawn. K2 on new pawn. On new pawn and new pawn. K2 new pawn. That's it. It's requiring us to do it in blueprint. Called when a census instance gets notified of a new pawn that just been spawned. Listener usually means something that's waiting for an event in code, which I'm assuming listener would mean the AI. Right? I'm just confused about the listener container. So listener to me sounds like this would go, listeners would be the AI, the enemies or the monsters. When we register a new pawn, do we manually keep track of all of the pawns? It almost seems like get all listener actors. Yeah. Let me try something. Oh, I can't even override this? I cannot override the implementation. Does that mean I would need my own config? Or is that a different class type? I was hoping this would fit into here. We have it here as a sense type. Balls. So then how do I associate... Yeah, how do I associate the site then to the pawn? Would I need a separate config? I'm assuming yes. Let's go back to engine. We have the blueprint version of AI Sense config. Okay. And then the implementation here would be our own site. And then this could have its own slew of random stuff, I'm sure. So then what we want to do inside of the NPC AI controller is instead of using this, we use our blueprint version, which is then already associated to the thing. Okay. So then what I'm curious about is our new site here on listener update. What is this calling? Kind of just confused about the listener system here. Read the manual? There's nothing in the manual! There's nothing in that! Google? I believe this doesn't go through creating your own custom one, but it could be. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe. Even though I literally have this open, by the way. So I have this open right here. Just so you know, I have this open right here. I have that open already. I just know it's not going to really tell me anything because it's just explaining the current ones that are created, not creating your own. But let's see. Maybe it does. Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. On target perception updated. That's in the AI perception system. Blah, 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 blah. So, nope. Ah. Would you look at that? It didn't help. Because I've already looked through that. Gar. Shiver me timbers. I just want to see. So on update, no, that's not. I don't want to use on update. But let's see on new pawn. Maybe we can see this. Maybe we can see this. I'm just curious. Updated. So this would say updated. It does not. That's not very good. What if I add another client? No updated. Uh-oh. This isn't even being called. Which, fuck me, I guess. I set this to the right thing, right? Okay. I put it on the character. I don't know what listener data type is. Let's just set AI Sense Blueprint Listener. I would like to see what that does though. Show me the thing. Click thing to show me. Navigate to it. Okay, maybe not. AI Sense Blueprint Listener. Let's see. Aha, here it is. Let's take a look. It is empty. It's empty. Maybe there's something in the C++. What was the button? F12? What the fuck is the button to go to the thing? F10. There's no CPP file. It's just a header file. Okay. And it's empty. So that's good, I suppose. Interesting. How about wants new pawn notification? Updated! Yes, we're reading updated 7 times. Now, if I get a new pawn in, we should hear updated. Updated! Okay, okay, so now we're getting the pawn. Where does this get added to a list, an array, or do I have to add it to an array myself? Hold on, I'm closing a variety of files. We got to get in the zone. Why are there this many things open right now? How am I adding another client after the other has already started? I believe there is a setting to allow yourself to do that. I think it's like here in the advanced settings, allow where is it? There's a setting. that allows you to add clients. Somewhere. I forget where. There's a random one singular Boolean somewhere that, like, you know, lets you play with multiple clients. Somewhere in here. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in here. Oh, allow late joining. There you go. Allow late joining. It's experimental though, so it could always, you know, might not give you intended results, but so far I haven't had too many issues with it. Okay. So we can read when a new pawn is being added. Very cool. What about just on... So what is on listener? So, okay, I'm just trying to understand the terminologies. Listener sounds like the term listener is used for anything. I just need to understand how this works. Maybe I'm getting this all wrong. Is there only one of this running at all times? The AI sense site object? And it's just that the AI controllers are registering with it, which is why this entire listener system is a thing? I think that is what it is. Maybe that's why I'm so confused. Hold on. Get a reference to self of trainrot AI sense site. Site C_0. What if we put 2 of the AI pawns in here? Am I going to get site C0 as well? This is going to determine if I understand this. That's why they're using the listener system, because there's only one site object for the entire session. That's why they have the listener container. Okay. I hate this, but it's good, I think, but I hate it. Okay, so I see. So there is only one instance of this running at all times. It's not running this per actor. Okay, the code is starting to make a bit of sense now. it's starting to make... They should have put that at the top of this. There's only one of these spawned in at once. Okay. That's why I see. So, that's interesting. I see now. So, okay. That is going to make things interesting. So, that's going to make things interesting because if I put a variable in here, the variable has to be associated with the listener that's listening to it. Does that make sense? I can't just put a variable of enemies spotted in here because it has to be, you know what I mean? It has to be on a per listener basis. Oh my. Oh shit. I feel like this just makes it more complicated for me to wrap my head around right now. um. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to wrap my head around now. Interesting. I don't know if I want to. It has some useful elements like auto registering pawns. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that's neat. But man, how do I even wrap my head around? Okay, we have listener data type. Can we take a look at the other actors and what their data types are? Because then maybe we can learn something from it. Do we have a site data type in here? AI site target, is that the data type? No. I just want to see what the data type is so I can see like how does that get used. Now you're probably wondering, well, Krim, why don't you just read the code of the data type? Brother, it's empty. It's empty. It's empty. Like here I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that struct. I don't think they're going to call data type in here. There's digested properties. Digested, huh? Yes. Yeah. So do we keep track of all of the characters that they've seen in there? Oh, fucking shit. Yeah, wrapping my head around each listener having their own version of this stuff might get pretty gnarly for my brain. Maybe it's because I'm just stupid, but you know. Right. Maybe we just get the basic system in, but the problem is that they're gonna see the player instantly. When is updated called? What is updated, and how does it get called? Okay, so it seems like I don't really have. Let me check on updated. let me see this real quick. On update. Is this being called on tick? Is this a timer? Is that what this is? 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. So on update, as far as I know, is just determining how long it takes to update. I don't actually have the update exposed to me. Returns the requested amount of time to pass until the next frame. So we probably shouldn't actually do anything in here. Remember when you were streaming that top-down shooter game? That game is mostly done at the momento, basically. See, here we have virtual float update. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna get stuck on this, just trying to read this fucking thing for a while. Which is not good. We're gonna be here a while. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put this on the back burner. Try to read into this, into creating my own site system. I guess while wedging it into the whole perception system, I'm gonna have to determine what kind of nodes I have to call. I don't think on update is what I'm gonna want. Just ask Grok. You motherfuckers and your stupid chat GPT bullshits. Okay, fine. Let's see if it can help me. Chat GPT. Ask anything. I'm trying to create a custom perception system in Unreal Engine 5. How do I create my own site perception using the AI perception system? Okay. Yes. Let's see what kind of bullshit. See what kind of bullshit it comes up with. Fucking hate this shit. It scraped the sense config. Okay. Okay, so editor facing configuration, which is the thing that we made. Let's see how well this does. Attach to actors, attach to the AI controller. To create a custom site, you'll create the sense and the config. Create the config, site radius, okay, blah, blah, blah. So this is deriving from the old site system, creating its own thing. Right? Literally the same stuff. Create the custom site sense. Okay. So this is doing it in C++. It's doing it in C++. So it didn't really tell me anything. All it told me is, well, fuck the blueprint version because it's not actually helping us. No, blueprint is not a good idea. You don't want to do any blueprint in this garbage. I'd rather just... yeah, I think the reality is it's just... I guess we could use the blueprint version, but I'd probably want to create a C++ version of it first. Like, unless on update is what we want to call, but that's kind of ridiculous. Update reads from time until update equals on update unprocessed events, unprocessed events dot reset. I think we're just going to want to create this in C++, which will slow down everything. Go to Ripper Junkie. How are you doing, y'all? On update and update is the same. All you do is process and set the delay for the next update. The thing I'm confused about on update is what the hell are these events to process? Like, what is this event? How do I read from this event? How do I utilize this event? AI sense event object reference. How does the default site work with these AI sense events? The thing is, it's not using on update. It uses update, not on update. But let's see what it's reading. Maybe I have to manually keep track of all of the pawns and all of the things. Update. Then gets the FAI site query. It's going through this. I understand correctly to say that the AI was triggered by hearing a player. That event is the struct that's passed for the system to react. You can derive from it and add the params you think you need. So I would, in the on update, I would just do my own custom stuff. But how would I determine everything that's perceived, like all the pawns? We have an auto register all pawns, but how do we read all of the sources that we have? And then additionally, the big layer, the big juicy thing that I'm gonna have to figure out is this is just one class in the entire game. The listeners is each AI asking for it to be updated. So I have to essentially put that into the whole mix of all this. Which means event to process, right? Okay, right. I have to remember that as well. Fuck. definitely is a lot more complicated than what I was thinking of doing. I was literally thinking like each character, each AI would just every 0.5 seconds within a scattered range would just start doing distance checks. This does it in a much more, I'm sure, optimal way, because it's just one class handling all the perception rather than the characters themselves doing all the code on their own, but it's a lot more to wrap my head around. Let's see, AI site query. First off, what is AI site query? We have the observer, which is the listener. We have the target. Last seen location. You don't think you need anything that the perception gives? Go for the simpler solution? I like some of the stuff that it gives. Like, at its core, I do like the fact that it registers all of the players. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that's kind of cool. Which I'm assuming when it registers a player. Like, I like the fact that it's integrated into the perception stimuli source. I guess my problem is trying to wrap my head around how they're doing it. I think my problem is just trying to get my head around it. Like, I could just go on my own fucking tangent of just writing this code myself. I just have to figure out how do I guess the listener data type would be what we'd probably want to use. Each listener would, I'm assuming how listener data type is, each listener has their own data, such as things that they're currently perceiving or seeing, etc., etc. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing. I like that it's built into it. Don't get me wrong. It just obviously creates some new headaches, just because I got to figure out how it works. Because I'm stupid, and I also don't know that much C++. So it's kind of me trying to perceive this from a one eye closed, one eye slightly open. Let's just use the site system that's in here. We'll just use the default site system. We're not going to have any fancy, that means we're not going to have any fancy time-based stuff yet. Just so we could at least get an aggro system going. Just so we have something. Let's just get started with that. Either way, we would have to use this to when we create our own site system anyways. So we could always just swap it. So this is AI sense site. So if we do end up using this stuff, we'll just have to swap this with our own AI sense site when we feel comfortable to make that switch. Okay, so we'll just do a print string for now. I also have to associate this correctly with the player character. So now, arm. I wonder if 3,000, 3,500. Oh, detection by affiliation. For some reason, that creature is really scary. What the hell? It's me! Okay, he's seeing us. He's seeing us. Okay, he sees us. Krim, do I already have ideas from next main project, or will I stay on smaller games? Is this even a small game? I don't know what the fuck a small game is. I don't know if I'd consider this a small game. I'd say this is medium-sized. I'd still say this is a pretty large-scale game. Small game equals tic-tac-toe. Yeah, small game equals some shit that you're not planning on, like, I don't know. What the hell? Okay, so we have our sight stimuli. Now we just have to do something with it. Of course, though, the problem is right now, so the current version of this. Now, what I did in Suit for Hire is I wedged my own timing system into it. The problem is that works in single player. I'd have to create a multiplayer friendly version of it. Maybe, what would I do? Keep track of a timestamp of when they started seeing the player. If they stop seeing the player anymore, or they lose sight of them, reset the timestamp, or lower the timestamp over time. And then that could be the way that we do that. I don't know. Because right now, if I just do this and I call aggro, that means when the enemy sees the player, they'll instantly aggro, which is obviously not what we want. We do want a timer. So AI is running on server anyway. Right. The only thing, so it's still going to run on server, but we have to consider multiple pawns. Unless we just do one timing system and yeah, no, I think we'd want to do it per pawn. Yeah. It's still all running on server. Don't get me wrong. It's still running on server, but we still want to consider the amount of pawns that it's seeing. I don't think we want to make it so it's like if it transitioned from one player to another player, it still keeps the timestamp. I think we want to have it so each player has their own timestamp of how long they've been in vision. So that's going to be the calculation. But the thing is I have to fucking wedge that in. It'd be nice to do that in our own system here. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll just put it in here. Potato code. Yeah, what? Let me stand up. I haven't stood up in a while. I'm gonna start making a thing where I start standing up every 30 minutes. Give me a second. Let me just take a little. Let me run around a little bit. Hold on. Here's some gameplay. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hello. I don't know if this is a small game, it's a medium game. I call it a big game. Really, it's a AAA game, not a Ubisoft quadruple A game. It's just silly. But let's be honest, I'm making a 5-star A game. What? No, my perception of it is anytime you're making a commercial game, I don't think it's a small endeavor. None of it is a small endeavor at all. You know what I mean? I don't think any of it is a small... Bless you, Crim's partner. I'm sure she heard that. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I just hate when people call games a small game. Like, make a small game. Like, I don't know if like, none of my games are small games. I guess a small game could be like, I don't know. I'm just making shit. I don't know. Next game after this, Ronin, maybe. Or zombie game, but probably Ronin. I could perceive Ronin being suit for hire too. Like, combat system wise and shit. Get this, John Wick, but cyberpunk / sci-fi, which is technically kind of Mandalorian because Mandalorian just does bounties. And Ronin takes inspiration from Mandalorian. In fact, I started working on Ronin after the first season of Mandalorian. And then I shit myself and then worked on a different game. And thus, here we are now, today, here. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so now I open the stream and hear it, and then I shit myself. Listen, man, you've been here before. You know what the sub sound is. The sub sound is shit my pants. I did. Like, it's not even that. It's like, listen, shitting ourselves is kind of part of the stream. Okay, so wrapping my head around the perception system in multiplayer. If we want so we need to keep track of how long the player has been spotted. And then you know, when people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them game development, and then they join the stream to learn about game development, and then they hear that, they would be deeply concerned. Listen, we don't want to give them A, false hope, or B, make them think this is a very boring space. Listen, we gotta spice it up a little bit, man. You know what I mean? We can't make this space dry. Get currently perceived actors. If sense to use is none, all actors currently perceived in any way will get fetched. Hold on. Maybe we can check. I swear there is a way of checking how long a perceived actor... Wait. Stimulus. Yeah. I'm pretty sure stimulus in here has... Age. 0.0000000. Balls. Expiration age. 3,400,000,000 and... Yeah, that's a lot of... That's huge. That's some big numbers. If I give it a flat value for the age... Does it allow me to read how long we've been in sight for? 0.00000. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. That's just fantastic. Bullshit. This motherfucker. Strength. What is strength? 1. So, can I not just read how long we've been in sight for? Can I not just do that? Is that not a part of the stimulus? The stimmy? I can't even do a cast to this actor. Why not? Can I do anything with this? Well, fuck me, I guess. So I have to create my own system for how long we've been inside of this actor's site. Well. Notification is broadcast when all stimuli of a given target expire. The target is explicitly forgotten. Oh. Okay, let me see. So my question right now is, how do we determine if you are no longer in sight? See, this is what I mean, dude. I honestly kind of just want to make my own fucking thing for this right now. I'm assuming the actor is the actor that's currently in stimulus, in stimuli, and stimulated. Yes. He's seeing the rats. What the hell? He can see the rats. That's why he was getting spammed. Because he's looking at the rats too. Wait. But the rats don't have a stimulus. Oh, is it because it's a pawn? It's auto-registering every pawn as a source. Fuck. Oh, he hates the rats. Yeah, he fucking hates them. He's gonna flip them. I see. Ah. I see. Okay. All right. Well. Well. You can add pawns to different teams. Maybe that helps. You can add them to different teams in C++. Not in Blueprint. I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe they changed it, but as far as I know, you can only do it in C++. Which, like, either way, I probably should be putting these into different C++ classes anyway. Am I sure about that? I am 87.5% sure. I think it works in Blueprint. Okay, how would I do it? How do I assign them to a different team? That sounds very short-sighted. Welcome to Unreal Engine. Enjoy your stay. Last I was told that it's only editable in CPP. CPP. Default Unreal FPS template does it? Okay, let's find out then. Let's go to our pawn. Let's see if maybe we can find anything in here. Maybe not here. Maybe we need a... Maybe there's a function. Maybe there's a function. Okay. So if there's a function, what would the function be? Let's find out. Affiliation. Okay. Maybe there's a different terminology. Maybe it's in project settings. Let's search it up. Affiliation. No. Maybe it's an AI system. You guys are making me look through this. I'm telling you. If I find out that it's actually in C++, someone will be shot. Someone will get shot. You better get ready. I will concede, however, if we find out that it can be done in Blueprint. However, I'm not hopeful. The fact that it's also detecting the rat, which, by the way, does not even have an AI perception stimuli source, is concerning. It's a little bit concerning. Let's see. Maybe affiliation is a... nope, it's not a component. Maybe there's a component in here. Let's see. Pawn noise emitting, pawn sensing component. What is pawn sensing? Pawn sensing? Why does this feel like a kind of... see pawn, hear noises? This seems like a completely different perception system. There's something called AI team. Team. Team? Team. 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 At least in the shooter template. All right, guys. I'm pulling out the fictional, the non-real gun. I'm pulling it out. All right. Who's first? Who's first? One of you motherfuckers got to take the... As far as I know... You can only really adjust it in C++. As far as I know, you can only really do it in C++. If it's being done in the shooter template, is it the Blueprint shooter template, or is it a C++ shooter template? Does it start with C++ classes? Is there maybe a function? Maybe there's a function. Receive controller changed. Puts on the blindfold. Yeah, you better. I did nothing wrong. Yeah. It still does detect all the pawns, but the sensing tests the actors for a tag. Ah. So it's not using the affiliation the affiliation system that's associated with the AI perception. It's doing its own thing, which I can do. That's not a problem. That's very easy. I have already associated. Actor has tag pawn. But it's not using the affiliation system, which is what we were talking about. Chat? Okay, all right, chat. You're taking a 9-centimeter bullet to the chest. We created the longest bullet in existence. It's 9 centimeters. Get ready. You've heard of 9mm, but what about 9 centimeter? It would take a lot of gunpowder, wouldn't it? All right. My girlfriend tells me 9 centimeters is big. Rats, get out of here. We got work to do. They're golden. Huh? A 9-centimeter bullet would not define its length, but rather its diameter. In this case, it's the length. It's a long one. Okay, well, we have some of the beginnings of the sight system. I'm gonna have to wedge my own thing in. Or... what's that green thing you're holding there? It's a glow stick, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's a glow stick. No, not a glow stick. Glow stick. Get it right. Chat, don't be so disgusting. Okay. I crashed the engine. Oh, come on. Could I, in theory, just like copy the AI sense site.h file and just make my own version of it? But then the problem still stands. I don't know what the hell most of this is doing. So again, skill issue. Don't know how to use C++. Kind of has the wobbliness of a glow's dick. Well, listen, okay, you can perceive it however you want to. Okay, but it's just a glow stick, okay? Now I'm getting confused. My brain is starting to like, okay, everybody shut up. Okay, everybody calm down. Let me open up my 6 assets. Let's close up the old site system because I'm definitely not using this right now. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. I can't do the voice anymore. It's gone. It's gone with time. Oh, my bag. Everybody calm down. My points though? Well, it's gone. I tried. I still tried, and I did it. Well, I tried, but... okay, so... how did I do this in Super Hire? I literally don't even remember. Oh, I did it on Event Tick. Oh, right. Yeah. 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 That's funny. How do I perceive if something is still within sight? Get known perceived actors, get currently perceived actors. And not forgotten yet. On perception updated. I want to see if that gets called and how often. 1. Okay, they just keep opening the door. These rats are fucking diabolical. 6. So, are we not being forgotten at all? 2. 2, 2, 2. 6, 6. Still 6. What? I think you're only forgotten if you're outside of all their senses. Could it also be that, like, they're not being given permission to forget at all? But there's a lost sight. Specifies the age limit after stimuli generated by the sense becomes expired. 0 means never. Whether stimuli expiring affects given listener's memory of the target actor and triggers the forget event is controlled by AI perception system. B forget stale actors flag in the project settings. Huh. So they can't forget, potentially due to the project settings. Forget stale actors. Actors will be forgotten by the perception system when their stimulus has expired. If not set, the perception system will remember the actor even if they are no longer perceived and their stimulus has exceeded its max age. Okay, so let's actually just do that then. And let's see. We'll just use player pawn for now, but obviously this is going to be changed in the future. Because we have to make it multiplayer friendly. Okay, really? You go in that doorway? True, true. True. It's still set to true. Maybe because there's no max age. So let's give it 2 seconds. True, true. True. False? What? Okay. Okay, he sees us, and then he forgot about the rat, and then he forgot about the player character. Wait, how is he seeing us? Like, that doesn't make any sense. No, don't listen to the rat. I want to listen to this guy. Oh, great, now there's 2 of them. Show me the perception system. Okay, there we go. Ow. So he forgot about us after 2 seconds. How am I going to make a timer system for this? Do I just do my own timer? Should I just make my own timer? Like a 0.1 second timer? But then everything has to be done in 0.1 seconds. This is 0.1 seconds. I mean, custom gameplays are very common for gameplay logic stuff. Basically, what we're trying to do right now, I can make the aggro system right now. But I need to keep track of how long. Like, I can do it so when they instantly see us, they get aggroed, no problem. Then we can test out the aggro. What I want to kind of do right now, though, kind of want to actually do it properly. I want to make it so when the player sees us using the sight system, I want to keep track of how long they've kept sight on the player. That's the big thing right now. How long they've kept sight on the player. I'm also going to lower their movement speed to make them slower. Because that's obviously going to be our spotting system. Essentially, if they spotted the player and whatnot. I'm thinking I'll just do it like as a regular timer, a 0.1 second timer. But I'm wondering if there's maybe a better way of doing it. I'm wondering if there's a better way of doing it. I don't really know if there is a better way of doing it. I think we're just gonna have to do it on like a timer that updates every. We could do every 0.1 seconds, and then it goes through every perceived actor. And then maybe every perceived actor, we save our own structs. How about blind monsters that can smell you? We'll probably do that in the future as well, but for now, I just kind of want to get all of our bearings, you know, have the sight, distance, hearing. Hearing works for the most part. I don't think it needs anything super more complex for now. But we do want to do the spotting system. I think start spotting should be a timestamp. And then we just use the game timestamp to determine everything. We have the forgotten update time here. I don't know if that's happening automatically. I also don't know if forgetting is required by age, like the max age is required to forget about an actor. I'm curious if that's a requirement, or can they just forget without age? What if I set the max age to 0.1 second? Does that mean they instantly forget, even though they still see us? Yep. So age, they can still forget. That's kind of annoying, actually. I guess if they don't spot you after 3 seconds, like... Honestly, part of me kind of just wants to do this myself. I guess this, like, literally what I'm all doing with the spotting system is checking if we spotted them, and then we'll just add them to an array of spotted stimuli. And then the spotted stimuli could be in a struct. We could do, like, last known location, and a bunch of other shit. And then honestly, we just do that. It's stupid because it's like, we're not really using the perception system properly. Can I make a full horror game using just blueprints without any code? Yeah, probably. Sponsored by Old Spice. I'll take that sponsorship. Do I get a lifetime supply of Old Spice shampoo and deodorant? I'll do it. Yeah, I think that's what we end up doing. Anytime we spot an enemy, but then how do we determine that we don't have them spotted anymore? Because the forgetting system is, you know, very explicit. On perception updated. So is this also determining anything that is no longer... Oh, I guess there's get known perceived actors. But then we'd have to do a fucking check for this. Hold on. Did I accidentally keep the age at 0.0? Oh, whoops. Like, I want to see when we're no longer in sight at all. Now it's just spitting out true. What if I get out of sight? True. See, that's what I mean. There's no, like... There's no built-in... Is there no built-in system that determines if we're no longer... Like a function call that tells us that we're no longer in the thing? Is it in on target perception updated? Let's see, maybe. Maybe this determines if we're no longer being spotted. It doesn't even call false. So it's always going to spit out a stimulus. Does that mean if I put something here, it's gonna spit out true every time? But then I'm assuming that it'll spit out false if it leaves the stimulus. Let me see. True. No. Okay, my main problem right now is there's no way of determining if we've lost sight using the perception system. besides the forgetting system, but not too happy about the forgetting system. I want to be more like, hey, we're no longer in the sight range or whatever. I might as well just code my own fucking thing at this point. Is there a way for me to... Okay, there's forget all. Can I specifically forget a target? Like, can I specifically forget a target? Can I do that with the perception? There's forget all, but that's not exactly useful for us. Oh, request stimuli listener update. That's not very helpful. It's almost like I have to do my own timer for this. I think that's like... I literally just have to do my own timer for this. So we'll just do a... Like, I can't really think of any other way to do this because the function calls don't give us whenever they go outside of the perception. It's only when we enter the perception. The forgetting system is on a timer-based system, but that's not enough. I need to be able to know when we've lost sight. Which is really annoying. Break the stimulus. That doesn't really give us, like, all that much, unfortunately. Unless I can assign something. No, can't assign anything from that. Let's see, online. UE5, perception get when actor is no longer in sight. Detect when AI perception loses sight of the player. Get actor's perception. Oh, get player pawn? Check the sight sense lose sight settings. Yeah, it's a 3500. But there's no event that gets called whenever we lose sight. How different would this be from how you did with Suit? Or was that a different way altogether? It's hopefully an evolution or a better version of what I did with for Suit. Also multiplayer compatible, because the version in Suit for Hire is primarily only reading one pawn, which would be the player. So I'd have to do this in a better way. Multiplayer, and hopefully just better in general. Let's just try it with a timer. I don't really think there's any way for, like, here, this doesn't solve the problem because this doesn't spit out an event when you lose perception. This is just telling you if you've lost perception. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really know where we can call. Where we can call when they've lost sight. That's my current problem. Like, maybe we could put this here. True. True, true, true. False. False, 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 false. But I think what he's doing is he's spotting the rats. He's spotting the rats. I don't know if he's instantly... So if we don't have any rats in here, let's delete the rats real quick because they're causing issues. Let's also delete the other pawn. So then we're just playing around with this one. Let's see, does he call true and then false immediately after? He's lost sight of us. I did see false. So he's calling his own true, false. True, false. Oh, okay. Okay, okay, yeah, all right. So it's from the same event. So we just basically, every time we call the event, we have to determine if it's still true. I think we're still gonna need a timer. That calls every 0.1 seconds to see if they should aggro. Right, and then every 0.1 seconds. Essentially, we would have to make sure that we're only running everything on a 0.1 second basis. And then that'll determine how long they're on the screen for. Unless I can somehow... this isn't running on tick, so I can't read the age. Or how long they've been on screen for. So... we could always just make it so that timer only runs if anything has been perceived. If nothing is perceived, then we just stop the timer. That way we only run the timer if anything's going at all. That would be a little bit more optimized than... yeah. I already worked in a game in Unreal Engine, but after making the enemy chase me, my project goes black screen whenever I start the project. Is it running the right level and everything? Is it running the right level and stuff? Okay. Okay. Now that I know that this gets updated immediately if we've lost sight of the player, that's very good. It's interesting, though, to see... I'm assuming it just immediately calls successfully sensed to false. Where'd my guy go? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hello. True, I'm assuming? Wait, no, false. True, and then... false? Okay. Took me a bit, because this is overriding that. Okay, I understand which direction to take this. By the way, I'm realizing something. He's not reading the eyesight rotation based off of the mesh rotation. He's reading it off of the direct control rotation. So before the enemy actually finishes the rotation, it's already spotting us. Not good. I don't know if you guys noticed that. If I go here, he instantly called true before he finished his rotation. Ah. Not 100% certain how we could go about fixing that. Well, yeah. How does sight get used? How does it, how does it determine the rotation? That might be important down the line, because I'm sure some players might get really pissed off at the fact that the control rotation is that quick. Maybe there's a setting for that, actually. I don't know if it's using the eyes rotation or the control rotation. Let me see. Hold on. What is it using for the rotation? You know what? This might be another thing that I found was limiting with the AI perception. Now that I remember, I think that was a problem. I think you have 180 degree set for peripheral vision. I know I have it at 90 degrees as the half angle. We could set it to 70, but the problem still stands that it's going to detect us before they finish their rotation. So if they turn, immediately it's going to call it. See right there? It calls true immediately. Which means... I don't know what... I think it's using desired control rotation. What is it using? What is it using for the eyes sight? Hey, you guys know all this stuff? After making Suit for Hire, I found some of the caveats and things that became annoying for certain things. All of it just comes down to just experiencing it one or two times and then pissing your pants, you know, or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't think the sight system is an AI sense sight. Or is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. See, I feel like it's compute visibility. Check his target and sight cone. Cache direction. So I think it's the cache direction. No, that's not the issue. It's the fact that the direction, the cache direction for the listener is Rather than using the pawns rotation, it's using like, I think control rotation, which is not what we want. Let me see how it's reading cache direction. F perception listener. Update listener properties. Shit. I think that would be in here. Add listener. Da, 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 da. Hold on. Ensure the AI's perception component is attached.eye height. All right, this we're getting into the AI territory where it's like it's it's hallucinating. it's starting to hallucinate. It's not yeah. Yep. Unless there's a AI perception node. Nope. Because it's in our controller and it's also a non-scene component. So there's no such thing as it being at eye height. It is using the eyes, though. It's using the base eye height, as far as I know. If I remember correctly, it is using this node. The problem is, I don't know what it's using for direction. So let me just see here. Hold on. What was that node called again? Why did it... Oh, here it is. It is using F perception listener. So, F perception listener, right here, ID, listener ID. Shit. It's doing listener ID. AI perception system, update listener, this. That might be... Or this. Update listener, unregister listener, request stimuli listener, on listener forgets. I think it's update listener. Dude, this shit's crazy. There's like this function calls another function that then goes into this function, then does this function. F perception listener. This is calling the cache direction. Okay, but how is it setting the direction? So our problem right now is the direction. Here we have cache location. How is it reading direction? Let's see if we could just call direction. Get location and direction. Oh, it's view rotation. Fuck. No, we don't want view rotation though. I don't want view rotation. That's not the one I want. Cock and ball. Ugh. Okay, so view rotation is not what we want. Because he's using the eye viewpoint. Eye viewpoint is different than our capsule's rotation rate, which is not good. We want it to be based off of the other thing. Actor's eyes viewpoint. Actor eyes viewpoint, which is what I had a feeling was using because I remember looking at this before. Right. View rotation, which is different from the pawn rotation, which is a zeroed pitch component. And I don't really know how to override the actor's eye viewpoint, at least the rotation, because I'm pretty sure that's done completely differently. So this reads from the view rotation, which I don't like. I don't like at all, actually. I'm okay with it using the location. That's not a problem. It's the rotation that's the problem. I forget. Is our rotation moving the capsule? Yes, it actually is moving the capsule. So we could use the root component rotation to determine which direction they're facing. I don't think there's any way for us to change that. There's one thing we can do. I create a component derived from the AI perception component. And then I override this. I'll copy some of the code, and then we can just change the direction to be something different. Or alternatively, I do a dot product and I just read from that, and then I just adjust that value manually to determine how long they've been seeing the player for. I love this. Dies instantly. Yeah, the problem is the view rotation. So for those curious why I'm concerned about this, it's not a huge problem right now, but in the future it probably will be. When the player character is turning, the view rotation, God, that picture looks horrendous from up here. The rotation, let's say he's turning to go this way, to face this way, because he's running in the opposite direction. The problem is they do a slow rotation to face that direction. The actual perception system is immediately facing this way. So we are seeing a player that could be standing here before the enemy actually turns, whereas we probably want our sight system to be based off of the head, right? So what we could do behind the scenes is we only start calculating how long we've seen the player character ourselves, rather than letting the perception system to do it for us. So then that way, because there might be some monsters where they turn really slowly, so then players can kind of use that to their advantage. But the problem is, if the turning is not correct of where they're facing, then we're fucked. So, yeah. I think I'm going to have to calculate how long they've actually been seen for ourselves. Which I think we're going to do anyways. I think. So we're going to do our own dot product. I think 90 degrees is 180 because it's half angle. I don't think monsters are going to need to see more than that, but if anything, we could always change that number. Currently working on my own website. I went nuclear and decided to use WordPress combined with Hostinger. I don't even know what Hostinger is, but I've heard of WordPress. Honestly, dude, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? I think if I were to make a new website today, I'd want to make one that allows me to quickly auto-update it with, like, news articles, like, you know, new game update, you know, some shit like that. Yeah. I guess just triggering a reaction only after they've been seen for a couple seconds would work, unless they're actually facing you when you walk into the room. Yeah, well, either way, we'd want to, I think, calculate the distance that they're at from you and the dot product, and then that would determine how long they need to see you for before they become aggro. I think distance would be a good contribution to this. Mine is pretty handy at that. I can just update a markdown file or make a new one and push it up and it automatically updates. The thing I like with WordPress is it has like an interface for creating those articles, because it's like, I could see, like, how do you do the markdown file? I guess maybe you could export it from an interface system. Hostinger is just a hosting service. Is it like, I guess it's like a cheaper alternative to... Do people still use GoDaddy at all? I feel like nobody fucking uses GoDaddy anymore. That shit's probably too hyper expensive for literally anything. I feel like that was the shit back then. GoDaddy is junk? Damn, that's some fighting words there, brother. What was I using as a hosting service back when I was doing websites? Well, I used Squarespace at one time. That's ass. All the websites are so fucking slow for Squarespace. What else have I used in the past for hosting? I don't even know anymore, actually. I'm sure I probably used WordPress at one point. Yeah, I'm getting old, aren't I? I really am getting old. Oh, no. I really am an uncon. I don't even know. Web hosting services. I wonder if I have used GoDaddy before. I don't even know. Google Cloud web hosting? Oh shit. How much is Google's web hosting? Where's the pricing button? Why did they make it so hard to find the fucking pricing? Oh, there it is. Pricing. How does this work? God, I fucking hate Google sometimes. I use Cloudflare for hosting. It's like $10 a year. Huh? GitLab for actually storing the repo and publishing and stuff for free. Interesting. Interesting. Unk status achieved. Losing track of all of the different web hosting services you've used in the past. Unk status. I use Versal and Hetzner. Versal has a nice free tier that was mostly for JavaScript hosting, and it's shared hosting. Dedicated service, you set up everything. Interesting, interesting. Honestly, I think the only upgrade I would do is I would get rid of all my other domains except for God Mode Interactive, and I'd run everything under this as like child websites, because right now everything is being run under its own license or domain, and it's just kind of annoying to manage 3 different domains when I could literally just have them under one parent domain, and then just have like /suit for hire for... I feel like that's a given. Like, I don't really need all these other domains anymore. I feel like it's kind of just a waste of money and time when I could just have one website being hosted and then just have all the child websites under that. Is there any downside to doing that? Is there any downside to doing that? I guess the overall website becomes larger because rather than separating all your little static websites, it's all being... I guess that's the downside. But like, they're static websites. How big are they going to get? Like, I'm not saving any data. There's no login. The only thing that saves is maybe images. Have I gotten a shamrock shake yet? I don't know what that is. What is a shamrock shake? At McDonald's? Brother, I haven't gone to a McDonald's in like 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, I have my website just hosted through Netlify, like the free tier, but it did nearly reach the I guess the limit of, because people can just check out your website. You have the free plan, and then if you have too many people reaching your website, I guess the website just closes. And it almost reached it on 1.0 release, and then like a couple more times after. Netlify honestly is fine for me. It's just, I'd be okay trying to figure out like a different structure. Maybe one where I can start posting random blog posts or something. That could be kind of fun. Like Netlify is obviously free, so I have not paid any hosting. For any website stuff for the past like 6 years, I've just been paying domains. You went through 100 gigs of bandwidth. I don't know what happened. It like just nearly reached the limit multiple times. Because I guess people were checking out the website, or maybe bots. Probably bots. I wonder how many people on Steam check out a game on Steam and they check out the website. Like, I wonder how many people actually do that, other than just bots trying to scrape your shit. You know what I mean? The damn clankers. Yep. The robot. All right. So when we spot a pawn, I'm trying to wrap my head around how I'm going to do this. This has been a like, planning stream. This is what happens when you work on monsters on stream chat. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. I don't know what to tell you. I'm doing the web design on my Asus VivoBook OLED with Linux Mint installed on it. Linux Mint. Isn't Mint the, is that the popular one that everybody's using these days? I think that's the most popular one, right? It's the most Windows-like Linux OS, apparently. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Amount of time insight to result in spotted / aggro. Let's for now make it so we have an aggro state. Let's just get this shit going. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's paste. Let's paste. Okay. Aggressive. Change the color type to aggressive. We're going to move to the location. So we're going to need a different tag. We're going to create a new tag called aggro. Aggro. And then we're going to set that to aggro. The payload struct is going to be, I guess, a vector. No, we probably want a different struct for this. Probably want an actor. Like an actor reference. Actor instance data, actor instance handle, actor tick function, actor result, actor. Huh? How do I get a payload? Oh, it's a struct. Maybe I could just create my own
Shit my
struct.
pants, I did.
Let's
Stimuli.
copy this. Let's copy this. Let's paste this. Let's paste this. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's paste this. Let's paste this. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's paste this. Let's paste this. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's paste this. Let's paste this. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's paste this. Let's paste this.
Thanks for that. Thank you. You're a true artist. Julian, thank you for the prime. Thank you. Is it because the transition's fucked? Oh, right. On event monster.sound alerted go to aggressive. Oh, that's when it's like resetting. Let's delete this. Goodbye. Delete. On state succeeded, go to root. Oh, the problem right now is the payload. So I'm feeding the AI stimulus payload struct. However, I don't think that it's spitting out any data for us to be able to use. And I guess that makes sense. Does the stimulus even give us an actor? No. Okay, that doesn't help us. Okay, I think we need to make our own struct for this. Unless I can find a struct in here that gives us an actor as a value. Actor container ID. No. Actor. Clustered actor data. You're really pulling my leg here, okay? Is there anything in here that I can use that just is a struct? It gives us a reference to the actor. I think I'm gonna have to make my own. Literally just a struct that contains an actor. That's it. That's all I need. Actor perception blueprint info. No, that's not. I don't know what the fuck that is. I literally. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, I guess we're just gonna create my own thing, I guess. Let me create it in C++. Because I am never making a blueprint struct again. It's not happening. I'm never doing it again. We'll call this struct F. Actor target Sometimes coming up with a name is the hardest thing. Target perception. A actor, target actor. Yeah, that's it. F target perception. Info. Yes. Target perception info. Now, I'll probably have to do this. Is it null pointer? Chat, is it null pointer? Yes, I have it here as well. Of course, of course. Okay, rerun. Save everything here, rerun. I haven't done structs in C++. Do you just use a base C++ class to house all your structs? Yes. I just have an H file that holds all of it. Has it passing data in the blueprints and saving? The wonders of Unreal Engine. The wonders of Unreal Engine. And C++ compiling, I guess. Null pointer, gotcha. Okay. Got it. Okay, so now let's do target perception info, which spits out target actor. What the shit? This doesn't seem like it'd be very optimized. Is this spitting out every single one of these? Yeah, whatever. Oh well. All I need is the payload target actor and then its location. I guess this wouldn't give us the target location. I guess we can make a task that takes in the actor and then spits out the location. It's not like that hard to do. Let's be real. Not hard to do. We'll just go to this get random move location. Get move location from actor. So then from here, wait, hold on. Wait, why am I doing this? We could just do the target actor being the target actor. I am stupid. All right, well, I guess I'll just delete this then. I guess. Goodbye. See you later, I suppose. Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye. Compile, save, and look at that, it runs. So now what we can do, because we're doing this in a really stupid, basic way, is I can set the instanced struct value of the payload I guess I'll just make a different payload for site. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but oh well. And then this is going to be perception, target perception info. Okay. Maybe I should just have one payload for all of this, but whatever. And then I'm going to put the actor in value. Okay, or don't. Fuck me, I suppose. How do I put the imply a specific type? Yeah, just. All right. All right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Okay. How do I... How did I do this? How did I do this one? For this one? How do I do this one now? Oh, I'm getting real mad. Oh, I'm getting real mad. Why can't I just set the thing? You motherfucker. Oh, come on. How do I set the instance struct value? I hate these. I hate these things. Do I have to take... Oh, you know what I think I have to do? I have to break the target perception info. Cock. Seriously? Oh, come on. All right, so this is a very basic system where it's going to call aggro, and it's just going to immediately run at the player. Now that's not what we want. We want it to have actually don't think we want any transition. We just want to keep running at the player. Ideally, in the future, we have a time for them to spot. So now they see us. Now they're running at us. I actually can't tell if they're running at us. Which state are you in? Brother, which state are you in? What state are you in currently? Oh, don't get all angry with me. I can't tell which state they're in. Brain component, state tree, AI state tree, status running, current state. I can't tell if they're going aggressive. Aggro, target actor. Aggro, move to location, move to target actor, acceptable radius 25. And then a delay of 5 seconds. Let's do 2 seconds instead. Why is this not... oh, you know what? Maybe it's not ever reaching the aggression state. It might just be the fact that he's not moving to the aggression state because there's no transition to it. Whoops. Okay, so... go to alert if roaming. Do I really have to do all of these for every single transition that he needs to go to for an event? There's no way, right? Can I, like... Because then I have to add that to this one and then this one. That seems kind of counterproductive. You can add breakpoints to states. If I add a breakpoint to the upmost task that contains all the children, will it run the thing at the very top and do transitions? Like if I add these events, right? Will this run on all of the children as well? Or can I do that? Yes. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can. Because that would make life a little bit easier. So we'll do another on event. Required event is aggro. As far as I know, we don't want to consume the event. Transition to aggressive. Priority critical. Let's see if we can do high. Well, let's find out. I don't know. Let's find out. It kind of looks like he's following us. It kind of also looks like he's forgetting about us. I don't know why he's not showing which state he's currently in. Can I make this show in the debugger? How can I make this show up in the debugger? It's shown under behavior tree in the debugger. Dude, what you doing, man? What you doing, man? So it shows the state tree. It shows status running, but it doesn't show the current state. Oh, wait. Roaming. It does show it. Global state. Aggressive. And then he just immediately gets sent back to roaming. Even though he's currently being set to aggro. So he's overriding it by going back to roaming. Oh, I do see that aggro move to locations going back to root. I kind of want him to stay in the aggro state if he's still aggressive. If you want to delay after the move to, you should add it as a new state. Gotcha, rather than doing a delay. Is I need to figure this out. I guess when we send an event, this isn't a state. This is just a one-time event, right? If the delay finishes before the AI reaches the target location, the state is ended. Does this delay not get called after this one's completed? Is this delay happening at the exact same time as the task? Or is this happening and then the next one? No, they're parallel. Can you make them non-parallel? I guess you can't. This happens like, oh, wow. Okay, I did not know. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's really good to know. Interesting. Okay, now, let me see then now. Okay, weird. So move to location is also incorrect then. So we would do task delay for 5 with a deviation of 2. And then it goes to root. If I delete this on state, then it should go to delay, right? Once this is complete, it'll go delay, or do I have to set up the transition for that? Or does this need to be under move to location? Because I am seeing that icon where it goes down. Check out the new template project. These are great examples for state trees. Yeah, I might have to. I think how I'm understanding how this looks, this goes down to this. Let's see. Out of curiosity. Okay, so now he's just calling aggressive. And I don't think he's ever going to get out of that. And that doesn't help us. Add a transition. Oh, okay, so we do need to explicitly add the transition. On state completed, go to delay. And then this one will probably need to do that as well because this delay is actually incorrect as well now. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So this happens all in parallel. Does that show that here? Any task completes the group. Interesting. It's better to use the next state transitions. Which one is that? Is the next state transition just next state? I see. Interesting. Okay, okay, okay. Learning. I see. Rather than specifically stating the things yourself. Gotcha. Very interesting. Okay, very interesting. I think he is mind broken. What you doing, man? What you doing? Aggressive. Oh, he's immediately set to aggressive for some reason. What? It's very weird. I don't know why. He's just really fucking angry. Okay, so... Wait, what? I don't get it. Did he spot us? He did spot us. Alright, well, let's just do this then. In our current system, if successfully sensed becomes false, of course, we do want to check the actor, but that's fine. If it's false, let's go ahead and... I guess we send... We'd probably want a different state for this, but let's just make a new state called de-aggro. Or maybe roaming, or maybe aggro roam, aggro searching? Have you seen this train? I'd be aggressive too. Okay, all right, listen, all right, come on, let's chill out, okay? We don't need to get crazy here, okay? Relax, it's fine. If it has none of its tasks finished, the tree's stuck there. I think I did notice that this is set to not complete. So I think what we'd like to do though is as a transition on event, we'll slap the new de-aggro that we just put there. Now this does mean the instant the monster doesn't see us anymore, he's just gonna immediately just run off and fuck off and do whatever the hell he wants to do. So ideally we change that in the future, but we'll figure that out as time goes on. So he probably is running around doing stupid shit. Let's let him see us. And then run away. And now he's doing his own thing. He is roaming. Now he's aggressive again. Now he's roaming. Now he's aggressive. Now he's roaming. Now he's aggressive. Now he's roaming. Then we close the door. Aggressive still, apparently. Roaming. Aggressive. Alright, well, that is a start. It's a start. You guys can see, like, the aggression is instant. It's not even, like, taking into account if he's facing us or, you know, giving us a bit of time to react to it. He's just instantly, like, in fucktown, I'm going to kill you. Like, this is instantly his reaction to everything. Well, it's a start, I guess. Not perfect by any means. Nowhere near done, but it's at least a start, I guess. We're going to delete these. This will be our sight perception task. And then we'll figure out the next parts. We'll need a state when they see us immediately, and then the last scene location we were at. Last scene location would be kind of like they start roaming in the last spot that they saw us. We'll have to do a bunch of AI stuff. Yeah. They're very modular, but it takes some time to learn and design. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm learning. A lot of things here and all over the place with UE5. So good start, though, I guess. I did use up a lot of time trying to figure out the... trying to put in our own perception. But I think this is fine. It's obviously detaching itself a lot from the perception system, but, you know, whatever. Progress is progress. We'll clean it up as time goes on. So, okay. On that note... I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for working that. Blah, 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 blah. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe longer stream. I don't know. Probably not. Let's see. We'll find out. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, everybody. Thanks for lurking, chatting, sticking around, and we'll do more progress tomorrow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Monsters? Monsters coming soon. We need to make some models, but I need some concepts for them. Any concept artists? Let me know. DM me. Send me your portfolio. I am looking for some monster concept artists. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Next time, same time tomorrow. Maybe even earlier. Okay, goodbye. Have a great day. Posted a bug report on Discord, by the way. I noticed it. I have to take a look. I have to take a look at it. I will, though. Hopefully one of these days I can do some suit for hire bug fixing stuff for a patch. There's a couple things I need to do. On that note, though, goodbye. I have a sandwich to eat.